Another weekend of hockey here in Las Vegas. The GCU Antelopes coming to town to take on the UNLV Skating Rebels, two top 10 teams going to do battle here this weekend. UNLV coming off of a series sweep over the Utah Skating Utes last weekend. They're looking to stay perfect here tonight against GCU, and GCU is hoping to spoil the party and stay perfect themselves tonight. So two top 10 teams in the nation going at it on a Friday night. What can be better? GCU, UNLV next. Taking a look at the progress of the A's ballpark on the corner of Tropicana and Las Vegas Boulevard. Las Vegas quickly becoming a sports hotbed for pro sports, and now it's getting just a little bit hotter here tonight at City National Arena. Two top 10 teams of the ACHA going head-to-head. Hello, and welcome back into Summerlin for more ACHA college hockey. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Dominic Lavoie. So as I said, two top 10 teams in the nation going head-to-head. Both of them undefeated, GCU and UNLV, two WCHL rivals. Now we're going to take a look back to last weekend. UNLV had the freshmen step up in a big way. 6 combined points for the freshman class against Utah in 2 games, 2 goals and 4 assists. The freshmen for the Skating Rebels setting a really good culture for the future of the Skating Rebels program. Now, for more info about this matchup, we're going to swing things behind me inside the rink to Kyle Sparrow. Kyle, what you got for us tonight?
Thanks, Dom. One point of emphasis that we need to look at in this game is the special teams. Now going to GCU side, they're almost 45% with forward Owen Hansen leading their goals for the power play. But moving on over to the UNLV side of things, they are 0 for 15, so 0% conversion rate on the power play. But also GCU has been very good on the penalty kill as well, almost 83%. And UNLV also really good on the penalty kill, as they have not let in any power play goals. Now, it should be a good one that comes down to the minute details. So we have a good game for us in store.
I'm joined here with senior assistant captain Justin Stopoulos. Justin, you guys got off to a good start last weekend. How do you keep that rolling this weekend?
Yeah, I think just preparation. I think we had a good week of practice and kind of just knowing who we're playing this week. We got a tough opponent here with GCU, so just preparation, get ready for the game.
And is there anything that you learned last weekend against Utah or during this week at practice that you guys can use this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, we just tried to have like a good forecheck, be really hard on our defense because we know they're going to come quick at us. I think we're going to get every team's best effort, so if we could try to match that effort in practice, it'll help us in the game.
Awesome. All right, well, thanks, Justin. Good luck tonight. Go get them. Boys.
Thank you, Bo, and thank you all for tuning in to UNLV Skating Rebel Hockey, the second ACHA weekend of the season. Once again, I'm your play-by-play commentator, joined by Kyle Sparrow in the booth tonight. A little short-handed. Our very own Ringside reporter Zoe Salas is on her way to Boise for the UNLV and Boise State game tomorrow afternoon up at the Blue Turf. And we also have our very own AJ Reed working overtime to cover the Las Vegas Aces Championship Parade going on about 25 minutes or so from City National Arena. As we mentioned in the open, UNLV and GCU both undefeated on the season so far. Two top 10 teams in the nation. GCU taking over the number 10 spot that Utah owned last week, coming to town, putting their undefeated record against against another undefeated team.
Yeah, you know, you look at that series, and it was very physical. Saw a couple fights, saw a couple of roughhousing, but, you know, it was UNLV came out on top, and it was just a very gritty, very physical series, as I mentioned before. And, you know, talking to Captain Joey Carollo earlier this week, he basically mentioned that it really showed determination from the team. You know, this early in the season, you want to see it from the guys, and he was very adamant. He's like, it was very good to see, and I bet for fans also it was very fun to see as well.
Most definitely. I mean, just when you have those physical games like that between two high-powered teams, it's always entertaining to watch, right? And that's just a lot of fun for us on the broadcast to watch, a lot of fun, like you said, for the fans in the arena and at home to watch. And we're looking forward to another game like this here tonight. I mean, GCU and UNLV, they don't really have a history of being too physical with each other. And GCU, myself and Ryan Giller, the former play-by-play commentator, and even AJ, we've all talked about how we've seen this GCU program in the ACHA grow over the last handful of years. I mean, this was a team that was getting beat by double digits, and now they're a top 10 team in the country.
Yeah, and it really speaks to the coaching staff as well. You know, starting 4-0 in WCHL play, and it just really attests to their team. You know, just as you said, you know, getting beat earlier in their program history, it really speaks volumes to how well the coaching staff has built this program and just things of that nature.
And, I mean, building this program up, there's not a lot of college hockey out on the West Coast. We know that it's still growing, but just to have these two premier programs in the ACHA do battle here tonight really shows the growth that college hockey has already had. I guess if you want to put it and diminish it at the club level, yeah, it's at the club level. But nonetheless, these two teams are two of the best teams for a reason. We're going to get ready and see that here shortly at City National Arena. And continuing on about GCU, just new uniforms this season. I think the first look at these uniforms, they're pretty slick for Grand Canyon University.
Yeah, really good job with the white and purple, I gotta say. Logo looks good, the nameplates look good, even the numbers look good, so just really, really good job, you know?
And as the intro video plays over the big screen here at City National Arena for the Skating Rebels, we're going to continue to talk about this team. We mentioned in the open, 6 combined points for the freshman class last week against Utah. There are guys flying all over the place. Brady Estabrook jumped out to me, just throwing the body every which way. Dylan Gordon scoring, getting to the soft parts of the ice all night, it felt like, on Saturday. And the coaching staff really echoed that, just how well they played, being able to set a foundation for the future of this program. And it looks like it's in pretty good hands.
Yeah, I mean, you know, talking to the goal scorers last week, you know, seemed very confident. You know, you saw the poise from those young guys such as Dylan Gordon, and just even speaking with him too, you know, it's just kind of the calm nature. And, you know, you also have some vets on this team still as well from their ACHA championship run last season, and it kind of is just a calming presence. You know, you want to have that. You know, if I was a rookie, I would love to have that calming presence. Just kind of speaks volumes to the game.
Certainly. I mean, that last image you're seeing there right before the team lifted the Murdoch Cup in St. Louis was the WCHL trophy. Now, that was a really historic season. We touched on it last week. These are two WCHL teams. GCU 5-0, 4-0 in WCHL play so far. They're coming into this building playing the defending league champions, or the defending division champions, here on the road early in the season. It's a great test for GCU, looking to make the national tournament and make some noise. So I'm really interested, with this being UNLV's first look at the Antelopes this year, how they're going to stack up.
Yeah, I mean, it's all phases of the game, really. You know, obviously they did not have the best start on Friday against the Utes. UNLV did. And even Joey Corolla, as I mentioned before, he talked about the start that they had. And, you know, they knew that it wasn't up to their quality. Even speaking to Coach Greener in the postgame, it wasn't their quality of play, and they knew that. And, you know, you take a look at Saturday and the rebound that they had, and their game was much more physical. They established the forecheck, you know, all 3 phases, and they were on top of all of them in Saturday.
I like the football note there, all 3 phases of the game. I really like that a lot. I mean, we already mentioned UNLV football putting their undefeated record to the test, 6-0, heading up to take on the 4-2 Boise State Broncos. UNLV hasn't beaten Boise State in football since 1976.
That's insane.
So it's going to be a very historic game tomorrow for UNLV, so we're going to see how they do. We'll have an update for you tomorrow night on the broadcast. Of course, on that game, our very own Zoe Salas once again is going to be up in Boise with the UNLV Scarlet Dance Line with the Rebel football team on the blue turf herself. We're expecting AJ Reed to come back tomorrow night as well after he completes his parade duties. But with the opening spiel from myself and Kyle out of the way, we're going to turn things over to the PA announcer right here inside of City National Arena for the opening ceremonies inside.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask you to please direct your attention to center ice for tonight's ceremonial puck drop. Joining us on the ice is Columbus Elementary Principal Gina Campbell. We thank her for being here tonight and for her support. Captains, please come forward for the ceremonial face-off. Thank you, Columbus Elementary Principal Gina Campbell, and thank you to our team captain. Now let's get ready for some hockey. Attention Rebel fans, please rise and remove your hats. Tonight's rendition of the national anthem is proudly presented by Burke Injury Lawyers. If you've been hurt by a jerk, you better call Burke. Here to sing the Star Spangled Banner, please give a warm welcome to the Columbus Elementary School Choir.
With the opening ceremonies, the national anthem courtesy of Columbus Elementary School performed tonight, giving everyone in City National Arena a wave. You got Jackson White giving him some fist bumps. So let's get right into it. I'm pretty sure I just saw a 6-7 there, actually. Let's just get right into it. We'll go to the starters. First up, UNLV, Tristan Rand, Bryce Johnson, and Luke Back on the forwards. Devin Nagar and Asher Whites in the back end for UNLV's defensive core, and then Doug Wakeland in between the pipes once again tonight for UNLV. And then taking a look at GCU, Ben Oakland, Owen Hansen, and Ricky Nelson the forwards, Gabe Tritchler and Jack Thomas on the blue line, and Dimitro Kabritsky in between the pipes for Grand Canyon University. Once again, two top 10 programs getting set to do battle here on a Friday night.
Yeah, and talking about UNLV, they finally have Tristan Rand back in the lineup, and leading goal scorer last season. Going to be really good to have him back.
And Tristan Rand scored, I believe it was 4 goals, if memory serves me right, last year in the national championship game. A big-time goal scorer. And you know that saying, big-time players make big-time plays, and Tristan Rand's certainly one of them. So UNLV's going to like having him back.
Yeah, and even for GCU as well, you know, Owen Hansen, their top goal scorer on their team, the captain, and, you know, gotten to get to see what he can do for this GCU program as they come into kind of a hostile environment in City National Arena.
And Owen Hansen, 7 goals on the year already, just in 5 games. So just an absolute ridiculous production from number 17 in white for the Antelopes. Once again, GCU donning the white and purple jerseys with the black trim. UNLV rocking the black jerseys with the red and white trim.
Very good jersey matchup, if I do say so myself.
I would have to agree with you there. Very, very good jersey matchup. It's pretty hard to do a color-on-color matchup with these two teams with purple and red. It's very difficult. So, all in all, regardless, it's going to be a really, really fun game here tonight between GCU and UNLV. Number 1 ranked Rebels, number 10 ranked Antelopes were underway on Friday night. So already a bit of a coming together. That's Tritchler and Bryce Johnson. Now there's Backel. Asher White's now another freshman. 3 of the 5 starters out on the ice are freshmen for UNLV. That's Backle, White, and Bryce Johnson. So now UNLV surveying the ice early, looking for a controlled breakout. That's on the tape on the left wing side. There's Johnson who sends it into the zone. Now Backle's on the opposite wall. Doesn't necessarily get to the puck. There's Jackson Wyatt at his own blue line. Wyatt, his pass is picked off in the neutral zone by Evan Layden, and now Layden dipping the shoulder, driving the net. He gets canceled out by Wyatt in the corner. Now a shot from just outside the face-off dot goes wide. Rand goes to the ice. Pair of bodies go. Delayed penalty upcoming. And it looks like it's on GCU. We have a stoppage of play in the opening 2 minutes of this game, and it's going to be interference to the call on the Antelopes, looking to see who's sitting for GCU. So waiting. The penalty is going to be to number 43 season. And they have our first look at their power play here tonight. And here comes GCU on the PK, wasting no time to get a zone entry, and they'll flip it to the opposite wall. And Tristan Rand's going to play that back for Heath Mensch, who plays it back behind his own cage. And Jackson Wyatt drops it off for Caleb Strong. Strong winding up a rush, dips it off to the right wing boards for Stathopoulos, who chips it down low, and that's wired around the glass and out. Already 40 seconds gone on the UNLV power play. Once again, Michael Schwartz, the second for interference, taking the first penalty of this series. Here's Dylan Gordon, had a goal last weekend. Charlie Masick couldn't dance by the defender there. That gets sent back up. Gordon stops it at the point. Gordon rink wide, couldn't get it to Backle, who picks it up. Swung up top. Here's Wyatt from the point. Jackson Wyatt to Backle with a drive, tipped on in, and looks like it went off the pad of Kabritsky. Here comes UNLV once again. Wyatt with a drive, blocked in front by Surchek. And now Backle with another drive, blocked in front again by Legowski. Now Bryce Johnson, his pass for Backle is gloved down to the dot, and Backle gets sent to the ice. And it's going to be blown dead for a hand pass. So 35 seconds to go on the UNLV power play to open up this game, and GCU's PK is not giving up anything easy.
Yeah, 81.8% on the year for GCU for the penalty kill, and pretty much story of that rush, blocked shots. And UNLV still getting that net front presence, which is so important. But GCU doing a really good job keeping the puck in front of them and just blocking those shots.
And that's Gavin Ukele who sends it on net for Doug Wakeland. The clock didn't start yet, but looking at our clock, it's about 24 seconds to go, and now the clock finally starts. So a few free seconds for UNLV on the power play. And now down low, Tabacle gets bumped by Backle. Here's Masick and gets pickpocketed by Tabacle. Now Backle keeps it, shoots one, another block shot. That's Tristan Tabacle laying out for that one. Now here's Gordon off the pass from Nagra. Gordon can't leave it for Masick, so back to full strength are the Antelopes. Lots of block shots already from GCU, and now Bryce Johnson gets bumped hard there along the half wall by Ukele. Now Masick finds it to the slot for Gordon. Bouncing puck, couldn't settle it down, but Backle settles it, and we have a stoppage of play once again. And it's going to be a penalty on UNLV. It's going to be a trip, so we already got our first look at the UNLV power play, and now we're going to get a look at the GCU power play. Coming up next is Dylan Gordon for a trip.
Both teams really good on the penalty kill. UNLV has not let in a power play goal yet this season. And GCU has also a very good power play, 43.8% on the year. And so getting our first chance to look at this power play unit for GCU here.
So we have some clock issues again, and it looks like it's getting reset. So their clock reads 16:35, ours reads 16:25. Vice versa, ours reads 16:35, the clock inside the arena reads 16:25. Technical difficulties here. UNLV not in midseason form just yet, so it looks like they're going to roll with 16:25 on the clock inside the arena, and we're going to get that set for you guys. We're back underway. Minor penalty for tripping Dylan Gordon for UNLV. We get our first look at the GCU man advantage, and they're working it around the zone. Up top, shot pass to the dot doesn't make its man. That's Owen Hansen looking for his second assist of the season. Here's Mason Kelly shooting one short-handed into the trap of Kabritsky. Gives a light shove to the captain, Joey Carollo. So UNLV kind of mimicking GCU early there on the PK. GCU got an early rush and got an early shot off on their penalty kill. UNLV doing the same.
And Mason Kelly, coming off a 2-goal night last week, and very dangerous goal scorer one-on-one, and goalie does a good job to make the save.
Now here comes Gavin Ukele trying to wind up a rush for GCU. That's on the tape. And a shot into the pads and into the corner. It looks like it was an early whistle, a short whistle at that. That was Jack Dolan from the left wing boards. And it looks like the net came off, which explains the short whistle. So already the net comes off its moorings early tonight.
That tends to happen here.
It does. They're still working on getting marsh pegs for these games. Doesn't necessarily help anything, but I mean, just the fact that it's actually in the ice rather than a small, tiny spike that's in the ice. And we're back underway nonetheless. GCU still working in around the zone. They're at the half wall on the left wing boards. It's worked down low for Jack Dolan once again on the backhand, fed up top. Now fed back up top, Ukele. Now the left face off dot. Back up top, Ukele winds up, shoots one into the trapper of Doug Wakeland. A good scoring chance from Gavin Ukele, looking for his first goal of the year.
Another point of emphasis for both of these teams is going to be that net front presence. You saw UNLV use it on the power play for them, and GCU kind of doing the same. Makes it hard for the goalies to see in front of them, and pucks can go every which way, which makes it just that much more difficult.
And that's the thing they talked about a lot last weekend, Kyle, was just being able to clear the front of the net, especially after Friday night, clear the bodies out from in front of their own cage, and that's something that you always have to do so you don't have any easy or greasy goals against. Rink-wide feed at the dot. That's Jaquette. Now fed to the right wing boards and sent out of the zone. Official having to duck out of the way.
I've had to duck really quick.
We play on. There's Thomas hounded by Kelly, giving it to the left wing boards. Back to the center of the ice and chipped in deep. A steer to the backhand just underneath the stick of Thomas. Now on the left wing boards, it's broken up by Jackson Wyatt, fed in deep. GCU still with possession. Jaquette with it. Misplays a puck for a moment. He's working at the right wing board, so let's take it down low at the goal line and leave it for his man. And now it's up top again. A shot from Benjamin Oakland into the pads of Wakeland. He squeezes and holds for a whistle, so 14:24 on the clock here in this first period of play. It looks like there's a pair of seconds left on the UNLV penalty on the big board. So not quite full strength yet for the Rebels. Face off out to the left of Wakeland is one out of the zone by GCU. So UNLV officially back to full strength. Here's Huffer, who gets bumped by Backel. And it's chipped to the boards. UNLV coming away with possession. It's Kuntz off the glass. And a stoppage. Looks like it might have gotten touched by a high stick or just went out of play. 14:07 to go now.
GCU did a really good job on that power play, moving the puck, a couple cross-ice passes, kind of get the goalie moving in the crease a little bit. And then obviously the shot that Wakeland was able to get into his pads. Still a lot more hockey to play and a lot more opportunities for that GCU team.
GCU really controlling the pace of play here as we have another face-off win. A shot from the point through traffic directed to the high glass. That was Gabe Trichler. And Doug Wakeland is down, sprawled out in his net. We play on. In a big collision, we have a delayed penalty, and UNLV going to be going back to the power play. It's going to be a trip.
That's what this UNLV team can do to you. The speed of Heath Mensch and the dangles of Heath Mensch as well kind of got GCU player kind of going over backwards and was kind of able to draw the tripping penalty there.
And it's Tyler Huffer, the defenseman, going for a trip. So UNLV getting their second look on the man advantage early tonight. Once again, they haven't converted on the power play yet this season. They're going to look to do so here and bust this game open and score the first goal of the series. That's fed down low by Niagara for Johnson. Bryce Johnson now tied up with Ukele. Now Masick with it. He looks. Swung up top, Niagara. Niagara skating the blue line, back over for Masick. Masick looking from the slot, shoots one, and the outstretched stick of Trichler blocking that one to the high glass. UNLV still with it. One-time drive from Gordon, rolls off the heel of his stick, and it looked like it got blocked in front by Husby. Now Backel back over to Dylan Gordon. Gordon scored once last weekend. Niagara from the point shoots one, blocked in front again. Gordon with it. Up top, Niagara at the blue line. Gordon with another drive, blocked in front again. And gloved down to the blue line, but GCU getting a pair of fresh penalty killers on. UNLV coming right back. Masick to the front of the net for Backel, and he doesn't get it quite on net. Now here's Gordon. Masick. Masick going for a skate. Shooting one, tipped in front. Down below the goal line, so GCU still getting bodies out front. Under a minute to go on the PK, and that gets sent down the length of the ice by Benjamin Oakland. Fresh PK unit coming on, and fresh power play unit coming on for UNLV with about 40 and some change to go.
That was a really good power play rush by UNLV, getting some shots, but you like to see the commitment from Husby, literally diving for that block, just to test to the determination to block shots for this GCU team.
Now UNLV trying to set up shop with about 20 seconds to go. There's Stathopoulos. We spoke to him pregame. Stathopoulos with it, going for a skate, looking, tries to feed it through Tabaco. It doesn't get there. Loose puck picked up by Rand in his first ACHA game this season. He swings it up for Wyatt, final 10. Here's Heath Mensch on the top of the circle, shoots one off the skate of Serchek. Now here's Wyatt again. GCU's penalty is expiring. Here's Caleb Strong going for a skate up top. Strong from the high slot, shoots one, another block. GCU just laying out to block shots all night long, and now that's fed up top just over the stick of Stathopoulos. And that was Tristan Tabacal. Hobble going back to the bench, but he's going to get some pats on the helmet for that shift. GCU's back to full strength. What a kill from the Antelopes.
About 5 or 6 block shots there.
Now here comes UNLV again. Mason Kelly stepping outside, bumped by Ukele. Evan Weston, his first game action this season. He was on the game day poster for tonight's game as well. Now Ukele for Hendrickson. Hendrickson now skating the left wing, avoiding pressure, shooting one. Glove save, Doug Wakeland. What a shot on the rush from Caden Hendrickson.
Really good job by GCU, you know, kind of controlling the pace of this game, not allowing UNLV to get into their rhythm, if you will. And just 5 or 6 block shots so far in the game, all of them, a vast majority of them, coming off of that power play. And UNLV can try and get as many shots as they want, but if they're not going to be able to get through to the goalie, then it's all for nothing pretty much.
And a big thing GCU's done well is winning in the faceoff dot. Won a lot of faceoffs so far tonight. And that's another faceoff win for the Antelopes and control possession in the zone. They'll chip it down low. Nash Jacobsma. Canceled out. Now up top for Colby Jaquette. And fed from the point off the kick plate. And down low. GCU still with it. Jaquette's shot is blocked in front and out of play. So UNLV picking up another stoppage, 10:34 to go. Skating Rebels still trying to look to get something going. They've had a few good looks so far tonight, Kyle, but like I said a few moments ago, GCU certainly control the pace of this game.
And also, as you said before, the faceoff wins establishes the zone presence that GCU has kept in this game so far, and UNLV has no answer so far for it.
UNLV controls possession and sent it down the length of the ice. Puck is fluttering down. Icing is waved off. So we play on. UNLV keeping the zone. That's Backel. Jack Thomas trying to feed it around. Back with a spinorama. Puck rolls off of his stick. He was trying to get it to the slot. And a collision there. Delayed penalty. And it looks like it's going to be Tristan Rand going for holding. And we saw that one all day there, Kyle. We have a shaken up Antelope going back to the bench, holding his face. It's going to be Michael Schwartz. And it looks like he was the one who drew the penalty, Kyle, and took a bump from Backel.
Kind of got tied up between two players, and in center ice, that's not good for the player. And obviously, GCU going back to the power play, looking to get something started, build some momentum in this first period.
UNLV gets the face-off win and clear to start this penalty kill. Once again, Tristan Rand for holding. Sitting in the sin bin for a pair of minutes. And UNLV breaking up that rush. They only get it as far as a red line. And it gets chipped into the zone. Stathopoulos takes a hard bump in the corner, but clears the zone. Take a hit to make a play. Justin Stathopoulos. Kabritsky stops it for Jack Thomas behind his own cage.
GCU's not afraid to get physical in this game. You know, back-to-back series for UNLV in which two physical opponents, and GCU is kind of taking it to him a little bit here.
That puck hops over the stick of Thomas. Here comes Charlie Masick moving on in. Puts on the brakes, shoots one. It looks like Kabritsky barely got a piece of that one with a blocker. Charlie Masick with a interesting little move on the breakaway, but advantage Kabritsky on the penalty kill. Now with just under a minute to go, UNLV, fresh off that scoring chance, sends it down the length of the ice. And that's something that'll wake up this power play unit for GCU, is a shorthanded breakaway against. That wasn't really their fault. The puck hopping over the stick of Jack Thomas. Will play on now. About 40 seconds to go on the power play. And Niagara with it behind his own net. Tied up with a few Antelopes. Killing some time. Now still tied up along the right wing boards. Niagara finds it, can't clear it. It's held in the zone by Jacobsma. Now top Ukele. Holds. Tries to play to the slot for Jacobsma, and it doesn't get there, and it gets skied to the red line and settled down by Gavin Ukele. Final seconds ticking off. They were ticking off, rather, before that puck got deflected into the protective netting. 2 seconds remaining on the penalty kill for UNLV.
Going back to that breakaway by Charlie Masick, kind of did a stop move, and I think Kabritsky able to get a piece of it. It kind of looked like it went through his blocker, like through that little hole.
It was either with like a piece of his blocker or a piece of his pad, no in between, or maybe his elbow, one of the two. So we play on under 8 minutes to go now in this first period. UNLV back to full strength. Now stretch pass just out of the reach of Baker. And Baker with a aggressive bump there on Tritchler, and here comes GCU. A bump there. That was on Surchek. Now up top, that shot misses wide. That was Tritchler once again. That gets lifted off the glass to center. Now UNLV from their left wing boards. It's Mario DiMaggio that goes off the stick of Luke Baker, at least it looks like it. The linesmen don't think so we got an icing. 7:07 now.
In this game, both teams so far kind of don't have a lot of tape on their sticks, it seems. You know, seeing the puck going around through the neutral zone, not really sticking to their tapes, but
maybe need some more stick wax.
It is the first period, after all.
It is. Warm-ups for some time ago as well, so.
It happens. It happens.
Acting like I could do any better. I can't really do all that stuff.
I definitely cannot, I can tell you that much.
Still need a broadcast open ice session, I think. Our director, Jack Bridges, is shaking his head no. We're going to get him out there on some skates with some gloves and a stick for 24-pack of Diet Cokes. He's a big fan of those.
There we go.
And now he's fist pumping, so he agrees. 6:40 to go. UNLV winding up the rush on the left wing side. That's sent in, but Legowski blocks that dump and attempt. Hopping puck settled down. Here's Jackson Wyatt moving on in, shoots one, and skied it over the net. Chipped in by Kuntz. Mason Kelly is there. Delayed penalty. Centering try. Tipped away. Jackson Wyatt settles it down. Shoots one. Blocked up top into the corner and touched up by Thomas. We have another penalty on GCU. It's going to be a high sticking call. So UNLV, another look at the power play. And it's going to be Owen Legowski for a high stick.
And if I'm UNLV, I stick to the strengths that worked on that previous power play. Getting shots to the net. Yes, GCU's blocking all of these pucks, but the more shots, the more fatigue that these GCU players have, it's going to allow some to get through.
Well, let's see if that rings true here. Here's Justice Lathopoulos to the half wall for Heath Mensch. Mensch peeling out to the point. Pivots, shoots one, tipped wide. Settled down by Strong below the goal line. Up top now for Jackson Wyatt. Jackson Wyatt to Mensch with 6 to go. Back up top, Wyatt. He pumps. Skates outside, shoots one, blocked by Trichler and sent out of the zone by Ukele. Fresh penalty killing legs coming on for GCU. So already just over 30 seconds gone on the power play for UNLV. Tristan Rand sends it cross corner, settled down there by Stathopoulos. Strong off the kick plate for Rand. Now Jackson Wyatt, point to point for Mensch. On the tape, Stathopoulos, he'll go for a skate with it. Stathopoulos look in, drops it off for the right-handed shot, Wyatt. Now Mensch at the top of the circle, moves into the dot, up into the skates of Wyatt. Now a minute to go on the power play. Now Wyatt, off the tape of Rand. Rand one-hands it to Mensch. Mensch back up top of the high slot. He'll skate towards the left wing half boards. Now to Stathopoulos. Stathopoulos look in. His pass is poke checked. And now here comes GCU. Wakeland way out to play hidden. Hello. Tommy Ward is welcome to the game. What an effort by the GCU penalty killer 30 seconds ago on the UNLV power play.
Same thing with the sticks again. Active sticks for GCU causes a breakaway, and Doug Wakeland's able to get the puck out of the zone and cause another rush for UNLV.
Now here comes the Rebels again. 15 to go and counting on the power play. Serchik finds it on the half wall and gets knocked down by Nagra, but regardless, GCU clears the zone. Dylan Gordon to Backel. Now here comes Backel. He shakes off a check, and he goes for it in the corner. Nagra finds it and tries to direct it towards the net, but Caden Serchik's twig gets in the way and directs it into the high glass in the netting. So 4:14 to go. GCU doing a really good job of getting in the shooting lanes and the passing lanes so far tonight.
Also, the neutral zone has been a point of emphasis for GCU, kind of stacking between the two blue lines and not allowing, as you said, those passes to get through.
Now Evan West bumps his man in the corner. Mario DiMaggio, D-to-D for Carollo, and his shot directed into the netting again. So we have another stoppage.
I think we've had a lot of stoppages, partly because of the active sticks from GCU, as well as just the amount of shots that UNLV is taking.
And those shots 7-5 in favor of UNLV. Now we have a face-off out to the left of Kabritsky. Face-off won by UNLV. Siegel turns one on into the crest of Kabritsky. And he holds for another whistle. Dmitro Kabritsky looking good on the tougher shots that he's faced so far tonight.
Yep, had that very, very good save against Charlie Masick on the breakaway, and then just had save against Siegel. Kind of traffic in front could take any bounce, and he's able to stay strong in the top of his crease and able to kind of chest it, as you said.
Now GCU That pass out of the reach of Layden. And Carollo off the stick of Siegel. That puck goes off the glass. Made me flinch for a moment there. That's a rare. It's a rare.
We had the same reaction.
Yeah,
just our heads back.
A rare reaction there. Here comes GCU, gate of the zone. That gets played down low by Jacobsma. Now 3:15 and counting to go. We got a bit of a tie up down low and everyone knifing at it. And that gets directed to the right wing boards. Fed out in front, knifing at it. That was Michael Schwartz, but Wakeland finds with an even 3 minutes to go. So low to high play. You just throw the puck at the slot and hope it works. Making an appearance tonight.
Zone presence for both teams in this first period, and GCU arguably having some of the better opportunities just with the breakaway that they had. Obviously, Doug Wakeland comes out and makes that stop, but very good zone presence here from the GCU team.
GCU directing it back inside the zone. We got a broken stick out there. Doug Wakeland plays it to the right wing half, or left wing half boards rather, for UNLV. And a big time hit behind the play. That's Justin Stathopoulos up in his man. It looks like it was Michael Pelletier. And now UNLV getting after it, and it's going to be blown dead off sides. What a hit by Justin Stathopoulos. Throwing the body around.
And both teams early in this game, you know, physicality has been a point of emphasis for UNLV, as we saw it last week in the Utah series. But GCU kind of not backing down. They're responding pretty well to the physicality.
Now here comes Dylan Gordon offsides again. Dylan Gordon with some speed, looking for his second goal in as many weekends. So the faceoff's going to come just outside the UNLV offensive zone. Hansen's digging in to the 17 opposite him, Caleb Strong. And that puck gets sent down the length of the ice for an icing, so it's going to come back into the UNLV zone now. 2:14 to go in the first.
If I'm UNLV, if I win this faceoff, I'm doing the same circle play that they did on the power play. You know, kind of looking for a dent in GCU's defensive armor here, and just try to get shots on net.
You just have to try again. Maybe one shot will leak through. We saw a similar goal, Devin Nagra, last weekend, just off the draw. Luke Baker trying to knife that one on. Doesn't get there in time. Good effort from Baker. Now here's Asher White with it. Under pressure. Plays it off the left wing boards and out of the zone. And hand pass. Minute 48 to go.
A lot of stoppages in this first period.
Not a lot of pace so far here tonight between either team, really. We'll see if the second period picks up.
And I think that's what GCU wants. You know, if UNLV gets out early and their speed, it is impossible, almost impossible, if you will.
Here's Johnson with a try, misses the net wide, and hand pass is called once again. So a minute 40 remains, and the faceoff's going to be just outside the UNLV's offensive zone. Once again, Bryce Johnson digs in for the Rebels against Wardis. UNLV comes away with possession, spun to the goal mouth by Backel. Now Backel with it in the corner, shakes off a bump, fed to the slot. It hops almost over the stick of Dylan Kuntz at the point. Bryce Johnson, Peltier. Rimmed around for Wyatt, who chips it towards the net. Settled down, Backel tries to play it off the back of the cage. He does. Now from the corner. Rand plays it up for Wyatt. Bouncing puck settled down for Johnson. Johnson overskates it back to Wyatt. Wyatt looking, D-to-D for Kuntz. A minute to go now in this first period. Here's Wyatt. Jackson Wyatt to Kuntz. Kuntz from the point, off the end boards. Takes a weird kick off the back of the net. Fed out in front, and it gets directed aside. Now here's Wyatt with it again. 45 to go now in the first period of play. And that gets chipped off the wall into the skates of Kuntz, who can't necessarily keep it immediately in the moment, and it gets played out of the zone now. And now here's Rand with it, playing for the fresh legs of Carollo, who gains the red and sends it on net. Gets lifted off the glass and down the length of the ice. Mario DiMaggio, D-to-D on the backhand for Carollo. The final 20 seconds. Now in the final 15, the puck skips down the length of the ice. Icing's waved off. Gavin Ukele with it, 10 to go. Now Trichler off the wall. Now here comes Layden in the final 5 seconds, and a big-time collision at the bench as Hayden Siegel canceling out Evan Layden, and the final horn sounds on an interesting opening 20 minutes here at City National Arena. We're all knotted at zeros.
And very good period from both teams. I think GCU doing a really good job managing the game. UNLV not giving UNLV enough, not giving them a lot of space really throughout any parts of the ice. And then UNLV obviously just got to get more shots through. I mean, GCU blocking a lot of shots, but I think it'll pick up most definitely here in the second period.
But before that, we got to take a quick break, let the ice get a little resurface, and myself and Cal Sparrow have to catch our breath. Stay with us. The second period of play between these two top 10 teams in the program, or the country, coming right up.
Vince Sapienza here with Fox 5 and the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. Make sure you check out my show, Hockey in the Desert Weekly, the only show that highlights your 2025 ACHA National Champion Skating Rebels. From weekly highlights to features on players and staff, I sit down with a member of the Scarlet and Gray each and every week, so make sure you tune in to Hockey in the Desert Weekly every Wednesday at midnight right here on Fox 5 and throughout the week on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network.
I'm joined here with senior defenseman Jackson Wyatt. Jackson, 5-on-5, pretty even game so far. What's going to help you find the edge in the second?
Just got to keep playing hard. We're getting our chances, keep getting pucks to the net, and using our physicality.
All right, and the Power had 3 opportunities that period, nothing. How are you going to bury in the second if given another opportunity?
Yeah, again, we just got to focus on our game. I mean, we're getting chances, just hot goalie right now, got to get pucks to the net, as I said, and good things will come.
Awesome. All right, well, good luck the rest of the game. Thanks for your time.
All right.
Boys.
Thank you, Bo, and thank you all for staying tuned in. If you stay tuned in over the intermission break, and if you're just joining us, thank you for joining us on the calls. Myself, Dominic Law, your play-by-play commentator, joined by Kyle Sparrow. Through 20 minutes, you didn't miss much scoring-wise. UNLV leads in the shot department 9-6. Both teams haven't scored on the power play, 0 for 2 and 0 for 3 respectively. UNLV, you got to stay physical here in this middle period, and GCU, a key for this middle frame, keep managing the game like you have been so far.
Yeah, and it all starts with the neutral zone. You know, you take a look at GCU, they're able to shut down the neutral zone and get in the passing lanes, and UNLV hasn't been able to generate much on offense, but at the same time, when UNLV enters the zone, you see GCU, they're just blocking shots. They're getting in the lanes. The puck, I don't think I've seen the puck flat on a person's stick in a while since early in that first period.
Good point. Very, very
just
good
flying
point.
all over the place.
So we'll see if that changes here in this middle period. Bryce Johnson digs in against Owen Hansen, and we're underway in the middle frame. UNLV in the black jerseys with red and white trim, skating away from the camera. GCU, white and purple jerseys with black trim, skating towards you in your living room or on your couch or wherever you're watching this from. We're not entirely sure, but we hope you're enjoying. Here comes Asher Whites with it, chips it off the kick plate, and that gets steered in by Tristan Rand. Kaprinsky stops it up and plays it up the right side boards, and now here comes GCU on the left wing. That's Hansen stepping aside with it on the left side half walls, and that gets pickpocketed and chipped into the zone by Johnson. It's a foot race, and Rand loses that one against Jack Thomas. Now it's steered to the open ice and swung, pitch and catch. And now here comes GCU. Thomas shoots one after the whistle, just a little bit. It's an offsides, but a good look at a rush there for GCU early in this frame.
And when you look at Bryce Johnson on the right wing wall, kind of did a little dump and chase, if you will, and Tristan Rand losing that chase by a little bit. But you still like to see UNLV trying to generate the speed early in this second period to try and get some of that momentum.
And UNLV, once again, they're 2-0 so far this season in ACHA play. GCU 5-0. So one team here will suffer their first loss of the season, whether it's in regulation or overtime. Got to wait another about maybe 39 minutes or so to figure that out.
I mean, it's still must-watch hockey at the same time, though.
Absolutely. Where else would you rather be?
Exactly.
Aces parade is over. UNLV, the Rebel football program, not playing just yet as we have a penalty on the Antelopes. Another look at the UNLV power play. It's going to be a slashing call on Nash Jacobsma. So UNLV, 90 seconds in, this one will go on the man advantage.
And that's something GCU you cannot do. I mean, this early in the second period, getting a slashing call kind of gives UNLV life early in this second period, but GCU, just keep blocking your shots, keep getting in the passing lanes, and just keep clearing the puck as UNLV hasn't been able to generate much off of these power plays.
So the power play is underway, and it gets chipped out of the zone early on the kill for GCU. And here's Devin Nagra looking to wind up a rush. He'll drop it off for Dylan Gordon. Gordon over the red line, sends it in off the end boards, and he'll chase it and get on his own dump in. He plays it to the corner. Centering try, skips just out of the zone. Nagra is going to have to skate back for that one and pick up the puck from Doug Wakeland. Nagra chips it into the zone. He'll give chase with Charlie Masick. That gets stopped up behind the net by Trichler. And now on the right wing boards, UNLV trying to go to work. Masick gets taken down. Backel swings it over for Nagra. Nagra at the blue line looking. About a minute gone on the power play for the Rebels. Gordon to the slot. Masick down low for Johnson. Up top, Gordon at the top of the circle. Nagra. Pitch and catch with Backel, and he misplays the puck, and Gordon barely keeps his zone, but gets pickpocketed and it gets cleared. GCU sends it back into the zone. UNLV's power play not really getting much going so far.
I still like the Dylan Gordon dump and chase there to establish that zone presence. You know, if you have the speed and the momentum building in this second period, you will win those races and create some very good chances.
Now here comes UNLV with just under 30 seconds to go on their power play, and Mensch is going to wire that one into the zone, and Ukele tries to send it off the wall. It gets directed to the slot, but directed out of the zone. 15 seconds and counting left on the UNLV power play. Sathopoulos gets bumped off the puck and gets sent to the ice hard, and another penalty upcoming for GCU, and it's going to be Caden Surchik who's going to be going. Surchik absolutely laid out Justin Sathopoulos. Boarding is going to be the call. So UNLV was going to have their power play expire. But now 5 on 3, for 7 seconds. And then a minute 53 abbreviated 5 on 4 power play. So UNLV with a chance to really break this game open.
More ice to work is very good for UNLV here. You know, we've seen the speed, we've seen the zone presence. Now you just got to put 2 and 2 together and just get pucks to the net.
And we'll see if they can do that. They've really been snapping it around the zone. They win the faceoff, and the puck hops over the stick of Heath Mensch at the blue line. So the abbreviated 5 on 3 is up, and now a minute 53 and counting. 5 on 4 action once again for the Rebels, getting another crack at the power play. Here's Heath Mensch over his own blue line through neutral ice. He gains the red line and leaves it on the left wing. Rand sends it rink wide for Sathopoulos. Now down low, Mensch comes to support. That's directed to Rand in the corner, who sends it up top. And it's chopped down at the blue line by Jackson Wyatt. Wyatt with it now. Fans on his pass, skates away from pressure, sends it to Strong, who tried to feed it to the slot. The stick of Ukele gets in the way. Strong with it again, shoots one, directed to the high glass, and it gets sent off the glass, but settled down at the point by Mensch. Mensch now on the left wing, swings it up top for Wyatt. Wyatt to Strong with a drive, misses the net. High and wide on the one-time drive from the right side circle, and it gets skied to center ice and into the zone for the Rebels. Jackson Wyatt with a minute to go on the power play is going to survey and wind up a rush.
One thing GCU is doing very well is they're taking the body to UNLV. You know, when you look at that previous zone rush for UNLV, GCU kind of getting in the face of UNLV and doing a really good job at shutting down those potential passing lanes that UNLV uses so much.
Charlie Masick just staying on side on that rush with about 30 seconds now to go on the power play. Gordon D-to-D for Nagra. Nagra up top to the dot. One-time drive from Backel. No joy for UNLV, so about 20 seconds and counting now to go. Centering try. Doesn't get to the stick of Backel, who picks it up at the half wall and swings it up top for Nagra. Nagra back to Backel. Pitch and catch. Nagra pumps. Shoots one from the point. Misses wide, and it goes down below the goal line, and Masick sends it up top for Gordon. Final 5 on the power play for UNLV. Here's Nagra looking from the point. Nagra shoots one on the move, and it doesn't hit the net. GCU's back to full strength. And the Antelopes trying to get a breakout started, and now here comes UNLV. Centering try, and it doesn't reach the stick, and another centering try, and no one home in a black jersey. And that gets cleared out of the zone. Luke Backel is going to have to recover in his own end. And he sidesteps a potential hit there from Ricky Nelson. And now here comes Backel still with it over the red line, and he gains his own. Backel plays one off the pads, and Mario DiMaggio is there. He can't stop it up, and Here come the Antelopes the other way with it. A shot from just outside is held for a whistle. It's Benjamin Oakland who got knocked over there, and it looks like we're going to have a penalty for a cross-check on Evan West. So UNLV with back-to-back power plays, no joy. GCU with a chance to break the game open on the man advantage.
And this is really pivotal for GCU here. I mean, if you can get those shots that we've been talking about all broadcast so far, and you can get one of them to go in, that is all of UNLV's momentum essentially gone. And we've seen GCU taking the puck, taking the body to UNLV. Now can they put the puck in the net, which will be the real question on this power play.
Have some lethal guys out there for this power play, and there's one of them right there, Owen Hansen, the leading goal scorer for the Antelopes. Thomas, pitch and catch with Hansen up top, and they trade places. Now Hansen with a drive, blocked by the stick in front by Stathopoulos. Kuntz ties up Oakland in behind the net. Mason Kelly under siege from Nelson, and he sends it out, and it's stopped up by the paddle. Justin Stathopoulos giving chase in the corner. Over 30 seconds gone on the power play already for GCU. Stathopoulos killing a little bit extra time on the forecheck. Here comes the Antelopes. And that gets directed out of the zone. Stathopoulos at a foot race, and he's got it. 1 against 3. Pulls up the half wall. Joey Carollo can't play it through traffic. And now here come the Antelopes the other way. Dolan shoots one. Blocked by the outstretched leg of DiMaggio, the freshman, blocking a shot on the penalty kill. Ukele. Now Jaquette. Jaquette shoots one on the move, and it gets directed aside to the end boards. Jacobsma with it. Now to Ukele at the point. 45 to go. Jacobsma pitch and catch Ukele. Work to the right side. Ukele with a drive. Blocked in front by Carollo and steered aside. Carollo laboring a little bit, but the captain helping his team clear the zone of the PK. But here comes Gavin Ukele with it once again for GCU, who pulls up and feeds it down low. Braden Husby's there on the half wall. Who plays it up? Hendrickson. Ukele. Rink wide feed. One-time drive by Husby into the chest of Wakeland, and he finds it and holds for a whistle. We have some coming together, and Husby goes down in a heap. And we have some more sticks and fists coming up, and Husby's pleading his case to the official and almost gets high sick by Caden Hendrickson on his way there. The official not too happy. And as Nash Jacobsma going in there to defend Braden Husby. So we mentioned it in the top of the first period, Kyle. These teams don't really have a lot of physicality or extracurriculars that I can recall, but we got our first example of that this weekend right there.
Nonetheless, though, really good job by Joey Carollo there blocking those shots, and then even having GCU having a wide open net, and then Joey Carollo getting that stick in the way, and then Doug Wakeland comes up with a humongous save to keep this game 0-0.
And that's what you do if you're a captain. You keep your teams in the game by giving up the body and leading by example. We stay tied for now with the final 10 seconds ticking off on that power play for GCU. Another shot, loose puck out in front. It's found and held by Wakeland. That was Evan Layden on the doorstep. Maybe trying to find a loose puck.
And now we're seeing the physicality start to ramp up, as you previously mentioned. You know, GCU is going to come out in this second period, and they're going to be physical. And the test is going to be whether UNLV can match or exceed that physicality. And as of right now, I think it's going both ways, and just really interesting to see how this second period plays out.
Going to take another try at this offensive zone draw in the final moments of this power play for GCU. Grand Canyon University wins the draw somewhat, but UNLV clears the zone. That was Bryce Johnson who killed off the final seconds of the man advantage for GCU. And that puck harmlessly floats on net for Wakeland, and no hold for a whistle. Jacobsma barking at Asher Whites. They had a little bit of a meeting there in front of Wakeland. So 11:45 to go. It's going to be Caleb Strong. You know, Tommy Ward is digging in. Shot goes off the end boards. Here's Dylan Kuntz sidestepping a hit from Wardis. Now Mensch plays it. Jackson Wyatt finds it in his skates. He'll step outside to the right wing, and now here comes Wyatt. Head manning a rush. He gets canceled out along the right wing. UNLV trying to keep the zone now. Chipped in by Luke Baker. And that gets sent off the kick plate and out. Dylan Kuntz hustles back to find it, and he settles down a bouncing puck. Caleb Strong gets canceled out of the blue line, and now here comes GCU trying to start something. It gets played off a kick plate, and Wakeland advances it up ice into the tape for Mensch. And offsides, Luke Baker would have had a good chance getting to the soft part of the ice if that play was onside. So 10:57 remains now, and much of the same outside of a couple rushes, Kyle, as the first period, just not a lot going. And really this period, the problem area is in neutral zone, the neutral part of the ice.
And GCU's been doing it all game so far. I mean, just clogging that neutral zone. But going back to that previous play, Doug Wakeland doing a really good job. Heads up play, just getting it as he had the fresh line change. And just a really good heads up play from Doug Wakeland.
Keeping the play moving and the pace of play up for UNLV. This is a team that makes their hay with north-south speedy hockey. Not a lot of that from either team so far. Benjamin Oakland with a drive into the trapper of Doug Wakeland. And that was, once again, GCU's leading scorer, Owen Hansen, driving the net in the middle of the ice.
And really good job by Wakeland, just sticking the glove out. It's able to see it all the way through and able to make the glove save. And GCU now with an offensive zone faceoff here. And if they can win this as they've been doing previously, UNLV's got to come up with some defensive answers on this rush.
They're certainly working on it. And they're going to go back to work right now as GCU gets set up, fed to the slot, and it's picked up by Ryder McIntosh, who flips it out to center. Thomas steers it down low. Asher Whites finds it in the corner. Now McIntosh touched on for Mason. Now Stathopoulos giving chase on the half wall. He finds it, shakes off a check. Stathopoulos to the slot. Masick, and his toe drag attempt gets poked away, and a really, really great defensive effort. Charlie Masick trying to make something happen there, and there he is with it again. Masick skating the blue line, tried to play it to the open area of the ice, but it's picked off, and that gets chipped in. Schwartz takes a bump from Kuntz, and now here's Nagra with it. McIntosh on the tape, rink wide, just knifed away. Pass intended for Stathopoulos. Now Kuntz, hassled there in the corner by Layden. Evan Layden and Kuntz lock horns in the corner. Evan West chips it up ice. Mason Kelly trying to race after it. Doesn't get there. Ukele gets there first and steers it up ice for his team. Now through center, here come the Antelopes. Fed towards the goal mouth, sticked away. Jacobsma tied up with Kelly. He finds it again. Plays it over for Layden. Layden up top with a drive there. Misses the net. That was Colby Jaquette. And that puck goes up and out of play. It looked like Hayden Siegel was trying to chip it around the wall. It didn't get there. So just over halfway through this middle period, just over halfway through the game. Still nothing going for either team. A handful of chances either way. We're back underway. Trichler, his shot's blocked by Luke Baker. That gets directed down low for Wardis. He's tied up with Joey Carollo. Carollo takes Tabaco to the wall. Trichler. That's sent in. Surchek back on it. You can't get it in deep. Mario DiMaggio overskates the puck and gets pickpocketed by Tabaco, who pokes it on again. Now on the tape for Strong, another bouncing puck settled down by the Rebels. On the tape somewhat for Carollo, who sends it off the wall into the zone. Icing waved off by the back linesman. Now glove down at center and sent to the chest of Nagra, who skies it off the wall. Baker can't knife that one through. He loses his stick, and Strong sends that cross corner. He'll get changed up with under 8 to go. Full sail changes almost for UNLV. Now moving on in is Hansen. His shot misses wide. Thomas settles it down at the half wall. Back down low for Hansen, and it hops over his stick. Asher White's canceled out by Benjamin Oakland. And Peltier back down low. Doesn't get there. Gets to the stick of Oakland. It gets chopped away by White. Now Johnson plays it down low. Asher White's just out of his reach and plays it up for Rand, who knocks it to the open ice. And GCU almost playing that one through. And now here comes Backel. Fed to the slot. No one home for UNLV. Jackson White pumps at the top of circles. He'll feed one towards goal mouth, and it goes rink wide instead. Now here come the Antelopes now. Fed and dropped to Jack Thomas on the wing. Shoots one off the pad. Thomas still with it. It gets chopped away by Jackson White. Now Tristan Rand drops it off. It gets bumped by Dolan. Braden Husby tried to knife that one down, and UNLV comes away with possession. Offsides is the call on UNLV. 6:42 remain in the period.
One thing I like that UNLV is doing, you look at Jackson Wyatt and Charlie Masick on multiple chances. They're just kind of pumping and getting into the zone using those quick fake shots, and then Masick having 2 good looks, and then Jackson Wyatt also just getting into the zone, establishing his own presence. And for GCU, a couple nice opportunities and a couple nice zone rushes for them as here they go again.
Kaylee trying to get a rush going. That was canceled out by Jackson Wyatt. Now Stopless in the corner. And now here comes GCU. They chip that off the glass. We have a pair of players not too happy with each other. Caden Hendrickson and Ryder McIntosh came together for a brief moment in the neutral zone. Jackson Wyatt directing traffic as we approach the final 6 minutes. And Stopless can't direct that to the wing. Here comes Schwartz. Schwartz dances outside, drops the shoulder, tries to feed it one-handed, and Doug Wakely gets run over by Dylan Kuntz, and Kuntz is not happy with Jacobs' mo. Doug Wakeland getting up. Doug Wakeland's back up. Jacobs' mo barking again to Dylan Kuntz as he skates by. And Ash Jacobs' mo. Notice he likes having chats with a lot of guys, which there's nothing wrong with that. Some people are very verbose when they play, so.
Exchanging pleasantries, I'm sure.
Exactly. I'm sure he's asking what the best place is to get food that's open late here.
Exactly.
I mean, Arizona and Nevada are pretty similar in that regard. I feel like they have a lot of the same chains. There's an In-N-Out right down the street from here, Raising Cane's.
Both very good fast food places.
Very, very good. I mean, there's not too many healthy spots open post-game here. At least off strip. I believe there's a couple Chipotle locations near the strip or on the strip that are open pretty late. We'll maybe get a read on that from Dylan Kuntz later on tonight. No promises. So he played on. The puck's chipped in by Dylan Gordon. Now Joey Carollo with it under pressure for Hayden Siegel now, who plays it on the backhand and not out of the zone. Jacobs with it down low. Fed out in front. Loose puck, and Wakeland finds it. And now the second time this period we've seen a low to high play or just a feed from below the goal line towards the goal mouth, and it looks like maybe GCU is starting to adjust their strategy, like, hey, take it down low and just feed it out front and see what happens.
Yeah, because every single time that UNLV kind of a couple sloppy plays back-to-back and exiting the zone, GCU is starting to realize, hey, let's capitalize on these opportunities, and they've gotten 2 really good looks throughout this period.
We're back underway, and we have a penalty on Devin Nagra. It's going to be cross-checking. As Niagara sent Tristan Tabacal to the ice, so as if the stage couldn't get any bigger in this game, Kyle. It's still locked at 0. It's 5:15 to go in the second period. GCU going to the power play. This one's huge.
It might be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, power play that GCU has in this game. I mean, they have a chance. 5:15 left in this second period. You know, UNLV's kind of been taking it to them in the physical department. But GCU's had some really good chances, and just building off of that, this is a very good opportunity for this Lopes team.
Here's Hansen, the leading scorer for GCU. Up top, a shot from the point, blocked aside. That was Mason Kelly, who's labored a little bit.
Right off the skate.
And that never feels good, ever. So Owen Hansen with it, gets canceled out emphatically by Kuntz, and we have a Lope go down in the corner. That's Nelson, and Kuntz chops it out of the zone. So just over 30 seconds gone already on the man advantage for GCU. UNLV standing tall so far.
And GCU doing a really good job just zone entry, but at the same time, UNLV starting to kind of take a page out of GCU's book and blocking shots. You saw Mason Kelly take one off the skate, and they're able to clear the zone.
UNLV not able to clear the zone there. There's Wardis. It's sniped away. Nelson swings it up top for Jaquette. Jaquette from the half wall. He'll survey, move into below the circle. Up top, Ukele through traffic. Just wide, though, is Nelson nearly getting a stick on that one. So over a minute gone in the Niagara cross-checking minor. Full sale changes for both teams. Kozma gets canceled out. DiMaggio sends it down the length of the ice. So 30 seconds and counting now. Remaining on the Antelopes power play, and here they come again. That's Jacobsma to Husby, shooting one, shouldered away by Wakeland. The best opportunity for this power play, rather, for GCU, coming in the final half minute as we approach the final 10 seconds. Just out of the reach of Husby, and Wakeland plays it to the corner for Layden. Whites plays it for Masick, and that gets chipped out. UNLV back to full strength. Now here's Charlie Masick. Gains a zone, steers one towards the net. It doesn't get there, and Mason Kelly finally gets off the ice. Now here comes GCU on the left wing side. It gets rimmed into the zone by Huffer and stopped up by Mensch, and he'll start it from a complete stop. He feeds it to the middle, no one home for UNLV, and now here comes GCU right back. Tabacal overskates the puck, and now Mari DiMaggio with it. Rink wide on the tape for Mensch. Mensch from the center of the ice to the wing. Mason gets stood up and sent down. Hard on the right wing boards. 2.5 minutes to go. Another UNLV player goes to the ice. That's Bryce Johnson as they're all tied up. They finally break free. Wyatt did a good job to try and keep the zone, but here comes GCU nonetheless. And now Backel. Backel with it. Gets bumped and shakes off the hit. Puck goes skittering into the corner. Now Caleb Strong with it, going for a skate along the blue line under 2 minutes to go. He can't chip that one to the open ice, and it gets chopped out of the zone. And now here comes GCU the other way. Peltier moves in, shoots one, and skies it to the high glass. A great scoring chance for the Antelopes there. And here comes Luke Baker on the left wing. Misplays the puck and gets handled at center. Turn and burn from Tristan Rand out front, and a big pad save by Kubritsky. Niagara gets tripped up there. No arm raised on an official from what I can see. Will play on as Strong steers it in, and the arm raise is on the official. Doug Wakeland stays put, and GCU refuses to touch it up, and they blow the play dead. So we mentioned how the GCU power play recently was huge, and now we see UNLV with a huge power play in the waning moments of this period.
2 back-to-back scoring chances for both teams. Wakeland coming up big on one end. Kabritsky coming up big on the other end. And now UNLV with a pivotal power play.
Ricky Nelson gave UNLV that power play with under 2 to go, and we have another delayed penalty, and it's blown dead. Doug Wakeland came out of his net that time, and he maybe only got just past the face-off circle, so it looks like it's going to be a hold. We're waiting to see who's going to be going, and it's going to be Owen Legowski for the second time tonight. Going to be sitting. Holding will be the call, so they have to reset the scoreboard one more time. They have 1:19 posted the score. The scoreboard didn't immediately start once that play got going again, so we're trying to, I guess, do quick math over at the scores table to figure out how much time exactly was elapsed in the period and on the power play.
And again, open ice. More scoring opportunities, more chances for UNLV. And it's just going to come down to who can get a shot, get the right bounce. And scoring chances have been few and far between in this game so far. And now UNLV, once again, a big or probably even bigger opportunity late in this second period.
So we also mentioned how important their abbreviated 5-on-3 was earlier on, and now they have an actual 5-on-3. Set up for UNLV. We're waiting the other penalty to be posted right now. So we're looking at 5-on-3 for 1:51. If UNLV doesn't score, that'll take them into the beginning of the third period with a little bit of extra carryover time. So 1 minute and 1 second remains. So 50 seconds. 50 seconds of carryover, 5-on-3 time, and now they finally have the other penalty posted. So 1:51, 5-on-3 with 1 minute and 1 second to go in the middle frame. UNLV being outshot 19-11 so far, and we're underway in the 5-on-3 period. A big one for the Skating Rebels. So under a minute to go, Jackson Wyatt works that one down low, and now here's Stathopoulos. Stathopoulos moving on in to Wyatt with a drive, and it goes to the end boards. Jackson Wyatt hops on it in the corner and steers it down low, and it gets skied all the way out of the zone down to the goal line for Doug Wakeland. And now here's Heath Mensch winding up a rush for the UNLV Skating Rebels, and now there's Tristan Rand at the point. 30 seconds to go now. Caleb Strong. Up top, Wyatt. And a one-time drive from Mensch, and it gets absolutely gobbled up by the shin pads of Gavin Ukele. So we enter the final 15 seconds. 10 seconds to go now on. And now Strong moves in, blocks out in front again, fed to the goal mouth. Everyone whacking at it. Whacks! Wyatt shoots, he scores! Jackson Wyatt finally breaks through for UNLV. On the power play, better late than ever with a second to go.
I mean, we talked about it previously, and 1 second left in the second period. Jackson Wyatt able to put UNLV ahead, and it just was a battle of grit. You know, you look at that play, never came out of the zone. Yes, GCU had a blocked shot, but UNLV stayed vigilant. They stayed on top of it, able to get a wide open look to Jackson Wyatt off a pass, one-timer, and that's in the back of the net, and it's 1-0 UNLV.
And that'll be the end of the second period. What an end to the middle frame there between these two teams. Jackson Wyatt, we spoke to him at the first intermission break. He breaks through with a second to go in the middle frame for UNLV to put him up 1-0 heading into the second intermission. So we're going to step away one more time. 59 seconds of carryover power play time for the Skating Rebels going into the third. A bumpy ride to the finish, 20 minutes or more just around the bend. Stay with us.
mountains are my favorite place to get away and be together. With Lazy Dog, I wanted to create that same experience for our guests. Whether you're meeting up for happy hour, getting the whole crew together to celebrate, or looking for a delicious dinner at home, we're your local spot. Great ingredients are at the heart of our scratch kitchen, so we look for partners that put the same care into their craft as we do. So stop by and get back to what really matters.
I'm joined here with assistant captain Caleb Strong. Caleb, you guys were able to find one late in that period. What do you think the message will be in the dressing room heading into the third?
Probably just stay the course. I mean, we have good looks, good opportunities. We're doing all the right things. Just a couple bad bounces aren't going our way, and I think it'll just be keep going, and we'll see what happens.
And it's been a tight checking game so far. How do you guys create more space here in the third?
Just getting back for our D, I think. Kind of had a tendency this year. We kind of stretched the zone when we shouldn't, and obviously 1-4 checker, they can't. Our D can't pass through that, so sorry. I lost my train of thought.
No worries. Good luck in the third. Go
Thank
get
you.
'em.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Caleb. Boys?
All right, so you have Caleb Strong losing his train of thought. I would too if I had primary assist on the go-ahead goal going into the second intermission. Hello, welcome back into City National Arena. 1-0 is the score. Jackson Wyatt breaking through with 1 second to go in the middle frame off of Caleb Strong assist through 40. Shots are 19-12 in favor of GCU. Penalty minutes are 8 a pop. Keys for UNLV, clean it up and shut her down, and GCU stay out of the penalty box. Here in this final frame, 59 seconds of carryover power play time for the Skating Rebels. They scored on a 5-on-3. Owen Legowski sitting for an additional 59 seconds or so. The third period getting set to go. Nash Jacobsma and Charlie Masick dig in at the center ice line, and we're back on our way at City National Arena. On the call is myself, Dominic Waugh, joined by Kyle Sparrow as the puck goes out of play, 6 seconds into the period.
And if I'm GCU entering this third period on the PK, I'm just sticking to what we've been doing. You know, arguably, yes, Jackson Wyatt did get the go-ahead goal, but off of a carom. But GCU just stay to their strengths, keep blocking shots, get in those passing lanes, and then just stick to your neutral zone presence. And should be an interesting third period if GCU can do that.
It's got to get her done. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we're to Larry the Cable Guy. It's a good pull. Very good pull.
I respect it.
Luke Backel looks like he got slashed in the neutral zone. No arm raised on either official, so we're going to play on. About 20 seconds and counting to go on the UNLV power play. Not much going early in the man advantage and early in this third for UNLV. They're trying to set up shop here in the offensive zone. 10 seconds to go on the man advantage for the Skating Rebels. Up top, here's Devin Nagra. Nagra shoots one, deflected by Charlie Masick into the high netting for a whistle. 3 seconds to go.
I think that puck took about maybe 2 bounces close to Kapritsky. And it's just a test to getting bodies to the net. UNLV has done it all night pretty much. GCU kind of has shied away from it. They need to get back to those bodies in front of the net, make it hard for Doug Wakeman to see. And then another thing that UNLV's been doing, those active defensemen as well, kind of fake shooting and just feinting and just going left and right, and it's working for them.
Now they're back on our way. Jackson Wyatt's shot is blocked out in front by Owen Hansen. That's fed deep into the zone, and Dylan Kuntz ties his man up. GCU trying to set up shop in the O zone. They are unsuccessful. Here comes Caleb Strong. We spoke to him a moment ago. Shooting one. Shouldered away and into the netting for a whistle. Caleb Strong didn't lose his train of thought on that one.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Still a very good scoring opportunity. Obviously just goes up and at him, but still a really good job on the rush, getting it down the right wing line, and really good save by Kapritsky, and we remain 1-0 here in the third.
Now, despite the goal on the board, we're going to touch on Dmitro Kapritsky for a moment, Kyle. He's played really great tonight, despite, I guess, that one on the scoreboard and what the scoreboard looks like. He's made a lot of timely saves, but at the same time, he hasn't been challenged a lot tonight.
Exactly.
So he's obviously going to look to continue that. There's a lope without a stick out there. That's Husby. His shot just skips wide of the net. DiMaggio pinches and gets sent head over heels by Dolan. Backel pinch in. He finds the puck. Toe drag. Leaves it on for Johnson. Back to Backel on the tape. Now to Johnson. It hops off of his stick. DiMaggio skating the line. Tries to feed one through. It gets knocked away by Braden Husby, who has a new piece of lumber. Now Backel knifes it through and gets bumped by Peltier. Now Mensch from the slot. He fans on a shot, and Husby slides it out of the zone. DiMaggio is back. Plays it D-to-D. Now it's soccered along and picked up by Backel. That was Mensch who soccered it through, and Backel's shot goes up into the netting and doesn't go into the net after the whistle blows. Pretty decent shift there, Kyle, from Luke Backel.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about it in the opening, you know, the freshmen, the young guns, if you will, getting it done here. Obviously, Utah against the Utah Utes, we had 2 freshman goal scorers, and they're kind of picking up right where they left off. You know, you had a line just previously, 3 freshmen there, Backel, Johnson, and DiMaggio, and kind of they got it going. You saw a couple sweet toe drags, and kind of all you can pretty much ask for those young guns.
He's got another stoppage of play. And those freshmen really are going to pay dividends as this group gets a bit older. There's a lot of seniors that came in during the 2022-23 season. Now Siegel filters one on, and it gets sticked aside. Siegel, not a part of that group. He came into the Skate and Rebels program last season, along with Evan West, who just laid the body right in front of the camera. Now here comes GCU as Jacobsma leaves it on, and a big-time collision in the slot. And Skating Rebel that's in a bit of pain. That's Mason Kelly once again favoring one of his legs there, and GCU is going to keep the pressure on. And that gets sent up out of play. Mason Kelly still favoring that right leg, and he's going to try and skate off. He's getting off the ice under his own power, albeit a bit gingerly. Kelly's been through the ringer so far tonight.
Yeah, blocking a shot off the skate, but he's also kind of been the guy that's kind of ignited the physicality as well. You know, you've seen him throwing the body as well as the forecheck. You know, you always see him as the first guy up on that forecheck.
Kelly, an integral veteran for this team. Been in the program since the 2023-24 season. Been in the national championship game. 2 of his 2 full seasons he's played with UNLV. He was a part of that first national championship berth where they got shut out by Adrian a pair of years ago, and he was on the national championship winning team back in March. Be pretty remarkable if Kelly can go 3 for 3 with national championship appearances, and obviously Kelly would want to go 2 for 3 in national championships in his time so far at UNLV.
And that's just a good presence to have on the team as a whole. You know, we've been talking about the freshmen here paying dividends for this team in the latter stages. And a guy like Mason Kelly, he's a good, calming presence. He's a fun guy to talk to. And
very fun.
You know, it's kind of the veteran capabilities that you want in a hockey player. And even if you ask him a question, he's always going to be there to answer the question along with some of the guys on this team. And it's really good to have that presence.
You know, be fresh off face-off win. Carollo shoots one, and it didn't look like Kabritsky saw that one as it got directed to the corner, and there's a mess in that very same corner. Mensch comes away with possession down low for Johnson, and it gets taken off the blade of his stick and sent out into center. Settled down by Carollo and fed to Gordon, who gains the red line and takes a hard bump at the scorer's table for his troubles to get that puck in the zone. Now Backel with it on the half wall, hassled by Hansen, and now Nelson has it on the tape. The neutral ice, he drops it off for Hansen, who picks it up in stride. Now he takes it down low. Hansen gets canceled out. And gets played to the open ice up top to the point. And a shot there from way outside by Ukele. It's blocked aside, and that was Peltier, excuse me. And now the puck gonna skip free down the zone. Down the length of the ice. Now here comes GCU once again.
It's chipped off the wall. Rand on the backhand, plays to the open ice just out of the reach of Strong or Luke Baker. And played back into the UNLV D zone with over 5 minutes gone. GCU's getting some fresh legs out there as Skating Rebels are going to survey from behind their own cage.